join myself and King as remedy. Together we will devour the very core.
Hello my delusional gents, how are you guys doing today? So for this video I wanted to discuss what can you do as a player to improve against the opponent's key moves that threaten you while you're fighting against them. So I have here Paul. He has a few moves that you're probably afraid of. The moves that you are going to be mostly afraid of are his Death Fist, that is also a heat engager, and while in heat state, so if he's near the wall, it's essentially a death sentence. Then the other move that you're probably going to be afraid of with fighting against Paul is his Demo Man. Now, he can get more damage across the board with Demo Man. You have to time it, though I'm terrible at this. Since been right there. It's been a long time since I played Paul. So the reason why you'll be afraid of this move is that the fact that the move hits you from low, and it guarantees you a mini combo if you're fighting against a Paul. So what a Paul player will do against you is that they'll try to mix up his Demo Man, or he will try to go for Death Fist. Now with these two moves alone, he can condition you into being afraid of these two moves alone, simply because of the fact that if he uses Death Fist, he goes into a heat engager. While in heat state, he has big damage, and if he's close to a wall, doesn't have to be super close, as you see. You can just go right after the opponent and then do another Death Fist or do a combo, dealing hefty amounts of damage. And if you're so afraid of the Death Fist, then you're likely going to be constantly backstepping just so that you won't get hit, and then get hit by the Demo Man, which is a low launching move that gives him a mini combo. So what do you do against Paul if he does these moves? Well, learning exactly how to punish these moves, and then you'll feel a lot less threatened once the Paul sees that you know how to punish them. So let's say in the case of Death Fist, well, you can walk it to the left. If you sidestep it instead, though, you still get caught by the Death Fist. But now at least you know that the way to beat it is by sidewalking to the left. Now there's a chance that you can still beat it by sidestepping, but since the computer can't do it as quickly as possible, since it's programmed to do it in a certain speed, you can also try and sidestep Death Fist. But it's safer to just go and sidewalk it if you know that you can sidewalk it to the left. Can you sidestep right? Well, as you see right there, you can sidestep right. Now what this tells you is that since the move was able to hit the Yoshimitsu while sidestepping to the left, then it's stronger to the left side from where you're stepping. Then it is weaker to the right side where you're able to step and evade the Death Fist. So that means that, again, that you don't have to sidewalk it to the left to just accurately get yourself the evasion that you want to get away from the move. You can just simply sidestep to your right. But what about Demo Man? Can you sidestep Demo Man to your left side? I guess not. How about to the right? Neither. Since you don't have an option to beat the move by sidestepping to either side, then your only other option is to make the read of whether or not if the Paul is going to go for the Demo Man. So if he does go for Demo Man, and you block it, then he will get launched, since it's minus 31. Now, if you don't know frame data, I do have a guide so that you can then see exactly how to learn about frame data, how to process it, how to estimate exactly if a move is minus or not, and how to punish it with certain moves. So with that in mind, if you were to block the incoming Demo Man, then you can launch the Paul. This immediately tells the Paul that, okay, he knows how to block my Demo Man. He knows that it's a threat. Now, what do I do now to try to beat the opponent? Well, he might try going for Death Fist again. If you know you can block that move, or either sidestep it or sidewalk it, then now he has no option to threaten you with these two moves. Now he has to use other options that he hasn't tested already against you. Now this is in the case on lower ranks. At higher ranks, the Paul will try using other moves, because Paul is not really a mix-up character. And he still has the qualities to that. For one, he has a safe launching mid that he can use, similar to Yoshimitsu in this case. But once you eliminate the two key moves that really threaten you as the player, he will then have to forcefully use other options, and this makes your gameplay a lot easier. This doesn't mean that he will stop using it, it just means that he's a lot less likelier to use it in the matchup now. This is the same thing with other characters too, like let's say with Devil Jin. Devil Jin has a lot of key moves that you're probably very afraid of, like let's say you're afraid of his Hell Sweep, you're afraid of his CD 1+2. He can try using against you. He can also try using electrics, which I don't know how to perform. I'm really bad at it. But he will try using electrics. You know that if the move is blocked while using the electric, that he is safe. And the worst of it will probably be using his Crow stance and catching you off guard with that. Like with Crow 1, which is very safe on block. He can frame trap you with other moves that he wants to use against you. And it's especially dangerous since the fact that he has quite a long-range move, or mid-range move I would say, that he can catch you off guard to go into Crow and use the safe option that he wants to go for. So how can you tell whether or not if you can beat these moves? Similar thing, you test it out in practice match, you go into the settings, let's say, okay, I want him to do a sidewalk left. Alright, so let's say I attack and he goes for the Hell Sweep, or should I say he attacks and goes for the Hell Sweep. Well, now you know you can beat the move by sidewalking to the left or sidestepping to the left. But if you try the other way around and see whether or not if you can, and you see that, you know, he can still beat you by simply trying to catch you off guard if you're sidestepping to the right, then you know that you're not supposed to be sidestepping to the right to beat this move. Same thing if he goes for up 1, which is his projectile chain move, and goes for a Crow stance. Let's say if he goes for the 1, the safe option that he has from Crow stance. Oh, look at that. You can sidewalk to the right and beat it, or even sidestep to the right and beat it. And if you're really gutsy and you think you can easily interrupt him while he's going into Crow stance into 1, you can interrupt him. But that's not the case if he uses other moves, of course, as you see. So if he uses the other move instead, now that he knows that you can stop him if he tries to go for the safer option from Crow stance, well, if he does the move, you see now that it was -14 on the screen. So if it's -14 on the screen, this means that you can punish him with a 10 to 14 frame move. This is how you practice and insinuate, okay, what are the moves that I gotta worry about? Okay, this is the move I gotta worry about. Can I block this? If I block this, can I punish it? Okay, I can punish it if I can. If I can't punish it, can I sidestep it? Can I sidewalk it? Or can I use another move to beat it? Can I interrupt them? These are the things you need to be looking into when you're trying to beat certain characters that you're struggling with, or looking into the key moves that you struggle with the most. You don't have to look at every single move in the move list and see every particular punishment for each move. You don't have to do that. You're not trying to be a pro esports Tekken player. You're just trying to get better at the game. So with every character that you struggle with, just look at the moves that you have the most trouble with. Let me give you one last example. One of the moves that you probably hate the most seeing from Victor, you hate Victor with a passion, and you don't know how to beat him. Well, okay, go to training mode. What is the move that you probably struggle out with the most? Well, one move that I tend to struggle with Victor at times is his 2-2-2 string. Right, he goes into his I stance and tries to shit on you, right? Well then, if he goes for his 2-2-2 string, what can I do to punish it? Okay, so if you block the move and he goes for, you know, the entire string, can you try to sidewalk it or sidestep it? Right now I have the dummy trying to sidestep to the left. Oh, you see that? The dummy recognized that he was gonna go for the next move, but immediately sidestepped. Now, this is mostly a particular issue with the settings itself, because the dummy doesn't realize that, you know, to continue blocking the move, you want it to continue blocking it. So let's do that one more time. Oh, you see that? He couldn't actually sidestep to the move. He got jailed. But since your boy Delusional knows how to punish it, I'll tell you how it's punished. So If the move jails you, what about the last hit though? You know, the Glock that comes out and shoots you with this laser beam. Oh, look at that, you can duck the Glock. So you can duck the shot that comes from the Glock, and from there you can then retaliate against the victor. Now, if he goes into his stance, into his I stance, you don't have to worry about what he'll do next, because since you already ducked it, this is your time to punish him. If you don't punish him, then of course he's gonna go for his other moves and catch you off guard, because you're too worried about what he'll do next. You need to remove the fear of what the opponent might do next once you already blocked the incoming move, or punish it properly by evading it. So again, if you know that you can duck the move, then you can punish him with your next move. Now he can't block while he's in this stance, so just punish him with a launching mid. Did I say mid? A launching mid. Same thing if he just has to go for, let's say, his, I think it's quarter circle forward too. Oh, look at that, you can also duck his Glock. But since you're not using it from the 2-2-2 string, can you at least sidestep it? Oh, look at that, you can. So by doing so, recognizing that, okay, there's other ways to beat this move, then you will feel a lot less anxiety when coming across the player that uses these moves and spamming it at all given times. But what if you're not just afraid of the Glock or the 2-2-2 spam? What if you're afraid of the stance that he goes right into? Well, this is where you need to then think, okay, I need to make a proper read. He may just go for a low. I believe the low is... Oh, there we go. So let's say if he decides to go for I stance into down 1+2, the low, right? I was actually couldn't remember the move, so I might have to skip a part of the video and edit that out. So he goes for his down 1+2. Okay, you recognize he might go for that move. What if he decides to go for other moves? Like the 3. Well, as long as you know exactly how you can punish these moves, if on block, if it's minus either 10 or more, then you know you can punish it with a 10 to above frame move, depending on how minus it is on block. So if you see, he blocks it, it's minus 29, this means you can launch the victor if he uses that move. Same thing if he goes for Perfumer. If he decides to go for Perfumer, then you need to think to yourself, okay, what is a likely move that he might end up spamming against me? Well, he has his 1. A lot of victors like to use the 1 because they don't think that you're going to block it. So if that's the likely move that he's going to be using, block the Perfumer 1. Then you see on the middle, on the HUD, on the frame data, it shows that it's minus 13, so you can punish it with a 13 frame punish. If he decides to go for other moves, let's say this move, it's safe, well, can you try to sidestep him? Well, in this case, the dummy did it too quickly, so he ended up getting hit by the Perfumer 3. But you can sidestep this. As you can see, sidewalking it does work, but you can sidestep this move. So by realizing the threats, the moves that you see that you were afraid of, you will feel a lot less anxiety, nervousness against the particular move. Of course, you won't perform it accurately for your first time. You have to go through a lot of matchups and just get the feeling and the rhythm and timing, and then executing the punish against the characters that you struggle with against. This doesn't mean you have to learn every move, like I mentioned, just learn the ones that you are mostly afraid of. So that is all for today. I hope that this video has been educational for you. I know that I'm terrible at explaining things at times because even though I do speak proper English, my vocabulary isn't perfect. And I tend to jumble up the words a lot because I speak 2 languages. I speak Spanish and English, though I prefer speaking English. You see, I messed it up right there. It wasn't on purpose. So, again, if it helped you out, I'm glad. Again, use what I just said, from what I just stated, I mean, and try to apply that while you're practicing, either in your practice mode or either trying to apply it through trial and error online. So if you like what you watch, give it a like, subscribe to see more of my shit, hit the notification bell to see more of my content in the near future, and stay tuned.